Hey, welcome back to another Black City coffee vlog. In this video, I wanted to show you guys a couple new things that I got. I know I just put out that little video unboxing a bunch of flawed stuff. Well, what I didn't have in that video was the kettle. And then I didn't have my scale yet, which is not flawed, it's Tina Moore. And then I wanted to also go over the issue with the flawed grinder, which was the static mess that kind of happens. So we're gonna go through that process, and then I'm just gonna give you a little quick tour of my new coffee station for the lab, I guess, for the coffee lab, and give you a quick little rundown of everything I have. Let's have fun with this. So let's go ahead and unbox this Tina Moore scales. I had a lot of scales. This Amazon Basics one, this really old school Oziri one. I have another one for weighing out shots, right? I have a tiny little one. And I think what made me kind of like want to get this Tina Moore, because it was just a little bit more money, was definitely all the things that would make me be a better brewer with my coffee. And so I know a lot of you guys who are drinking Black City coffee, and that's so cool, but you guys have better setups than I do. So it didn't really make sense for me to have such a, like a, not primitive, it's not like what I have here is primitive, but I wasn't matching what my consumer is drinking or my ideal consumer. So that on a business perspective was kind of dumb. I kind of didn't really want to upgrade everything because I didn't know what I liked yet, and I didn't put in the time to really serve myself the best cup of coffee, even though at the time I was thinking, hey, I'm doing all the things that I need to be doing right now. And my biggest concern when I got into coffee the way that I am in now was the roast. So I really wasn't putting any energy towards the brewing process for myself. I thought it was good enough, and I was settling with good enough, and that was fine for the time being. But now that I'm trying to really upgrade my roast, I'm trying to taste what my customer may be tasting or not tasting. You know, the brew process here and the grind and everything now has become, it's come into my world, into my perspective, or what have you. And so I just needed to level up in that sense. So yeah, we're gonna see what the big differences are with this new scale that's gonna be specifically for brewing. Why are they a lot more pricier? And it's not really that much more. I forget how much this is now. I'll look it up, I'll put it up on the screen, versus this. I think it's maybe $20, $30 more, not really that big of a deal. And aesthetically, that was a big thing too. Now that I'm making more videos, and it's my intention to keep making more videos despite having this be like whenever I can make time for making videos, which is still okay. It's still often enough. I try to do at least once a week. I would like to increase that, but you know, we just do what we can over here. So now that I was being more intentional about my videos, I wanted everything to match, and not only on an aesthetic level, but it really needed to serve a purpose and have a really great function. And I think Fellow really does that for now. That it's the brand that's doing that, where it's conscious about what it looks like. It's conscious that it's being on camera and being photographed and in a social media world, but also is serving a particular purpose. And for me, I could go through each little thing, but we're gonna get into this scale right here. So this is just to have here for, I guess, comparison. I'll bring this guy back. I have two scales over here because I have one in grams and one in ounces. And that just makes things really easy. Like, it may seem like overkill, but when you're packing a bag of coffee and you're doing it over and over and over again, every little process gets to be really annoying and repetitive if you keep having to switch. So I like having things specifically for that task if you're doing a lot of that task. Okay, let's open this guy. Already it's a really pretty box. I felt like a lot of coffee scales are very expensive, and I'm like, really? And I felt like Tina Moore had the one where I was like, okay, it's pretty, it's supposed to be for coffee brewing, it's got a lot of bells and whistles, and at the same time, I don't feel that it's breaking the bank, so I'm gonna go for this one. Now that I think about it, it might be like $70. All right away. Made in China with all this Chinese writing. Okay. We have a silicone mat, typical, that you'll find in a brewing scale because you don't want your carafe or your whatever to slip. Charging cable. I love that this was no batteries needed. You could just charge it because it's so annoying when you're out of batteries and now you have to go rummage through your house to look for some batteries. And if they're rechargeable, they're probably not even charged. Okay. It's a USB-C. Good. No more micro USB. All right, cool. This is a nice little box. Might use it for something since it's black and pretty. Oh. Do not use alcohol or other solvents to wipe it. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, before we take this guide off, remove this sticker after you're familiar with the operations. Yeah, because you won't be able to see crap. Type-C charging port. Power. I did watch a couple of reviews of this on YouTube, obviously before I bought it, and I was like, you know what, that seems pretty good. You got your battery, you got the timer here, total weight of water, press shortly to start. This is your timer here for brewing. So I actually signed up for a brewing class with Hasea Coffee that I'm going to do later on in the month. I'll talk about it, I'll make a vlog about it. Most likely Jared will let me vlog in there and whatnot, but I knew I was going that way, so I went ahead and got the best equipment that I felt that I could afford right now to be a better brewer, and that way I can really in turn take all this information and this data and this experience to the roaster, right? And the whole point is for me as a roaster is to make the best cup of coffee I can each time I step up to the roaster. So we will take this off, but we'll keep it around just to see. And I love the profile of it. That was a big sell for me. And again, the price, I didn't think it was too bad. So this goes here. Cool, we're at 2 bars, so it's actually ready to use right out of the box. And this will just go over on my new coffee station. I'll show you scales, like considerably. Look at this piece of crap. I just use this to measure green. This is to measure roasted coffee. So these are gonna go back. So this is the on button. I guess you hold it. Wow, so totally blacked out when it's not in use. So super pretty. This is gonna go right here, right underneath the carafe. So the only thing you just can't forget where the on button is, which is right over there. All right, cool. So we're pretty much complete, as you could see. Okay, next, let's talk about the kettle. Super pretty. Really pretty, really feels good in the hand. Unlike the other, like this guy right here, this double-walled 8-ounce mug. So it's not gonna hold a typical mug of coffee, even though it looks massive in my hands. It's because it's double-walled. And it's supposed to just keep your coffee warmer and your cold brew colder, or your iced coffee colder. And yeah, I feel like it does a fairly good job of that, but nothing outstanding like, you know, that the ember mug that can just keep your coffee warm. Yeah, you're not gonna have anything like that, but the handle of this is super ergonomic. I love pouring with it. It still feels, I guess, heavy to me because I don't have a lot of strength in my upper body, I think. But when you do this sort of thing, it's very nice to pour. And what's really nice too, that I noticed right away when I was brewing the other day in that one video, was the flow rate from this versus my Bonavita or whatever it is. The flow rate stays the same. Really have a heavy hand or a heavy pour and it will still stay the same, and that's the point of gooseneck kettles. But you could back off a little bit and get a little bit more, like, less aggressive with it, but it's really only got 2 flow rates, like a very light pour, and then if you go heavy-handed. And I think that was kind of the issue with the other kettle. Whenever I was trying to do a typical pour over, my flow rate would be like aggressive soft, because I was doing this sort of thing. And the flow rate would be a little bit off, and it was just a little bit more annoying, and that's why I didn't brew too many pour overs, because I couldn't get my technique right. So this has less margin of error for you if you're a pour over kind of brewer. And typically whenever we want to try coffee at its best, a lot of the times it's going to be that pour over method. So I really wanted to master it in my own way. And I think that having the Stag brewer, where it can eliminate a lot of my own human error to get that kind of cup. I'll have to compare this, but the pour over cup versus the AeroPress cup, we'll have to see what that's about. But either way, I'm really happy with the Kettle. I'm really glad I went with that. And it looks fantastic. I wish this little bevel right here or whatever was black too, and that's that's the reason why like the Kettle came last, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna find one that's all blacked out, but alas, I could not at this quality, at this price point, all that stuff. So I'll just have to get over it with this, but it's not too bad. I thought it would take on a lot of thumbprints, you know, as I would accidentally put my thumb on it, but nope, there's no thumbprints whatsoever. So that was my only fear. I was like, oh, I don't like stainless steel or chrome, not stainless steel, but like chrome looking things, because they often take on thumbprints and things like that, which I hate. It's like an eyesore for me. So if I'm gonna spend this type of money, I want all these little things to be checked off. So good on that front. I think what is left to talk about in this little tour, I guess, well, I'll go through everything a little bit more, is the fellow grinder. So I've been doing a couple of like little test grinds on it, and it's been super fun to do. As you can see here, and these have just been sitting out, and I've been just assessing them and looking at them. But yeah, we're gonna I'm gonna grind for you a little bit of coffee here. This is some old coffee, and I've been drinking old coffee with this old grinder just to see, and like old meaning like February, March, when I roasted it, and it doesn't taste bad. I was like, oh, cool. So I think that's another one of the powers of the grinder itself. Well, I'm gonna need more than that. I have some here. This is that super underdeveloped decaf that I was trying out. Oh. So check this out. Put this here, turn this on. I like to turn it on first. I'm gonna set it at 5 for my pour over grind setting. Knocker. That was the automatic shut off. That was nice. Sometimes it gets it a little late. Super consistent. I don't have one of those Keurig sieves. I don't know how you say that. Those sieves, where you could actually really check the consistency of the grind. But this looks really nice and even. I could see some smaller bits in there, but yeah, it looks really good. Okay, but check out a little bit of the mess left over here. And you can see it here too, that's static. Yeah, so there's a lot of static in there. So that should have been in here. But they give you this little makeup brush to clean up your mess, because they knew it was gonna be messy. All right. I don't know why when I was knocking it, it didn't come off the first time. I'll have to investigate that. And I have a little trash can below. Okay, so we're gonna try Hoffman's teaspoon, splash in water, into the beans, into the grinder. And let's see, and that'll be enough water, I guess, to dislodge any of the static. So let's try that again. I have no qualms about wasting this coffee. super old, underdeveloped. So it's a harder bean, you know, since it's underdeveloped. You can kind of see here. All right, teaspoon. And take our little cupping spoon. My other one. All right, that's it. And then you go like this. Am I really? Oh, all right. Let's try it again. Everything out of the hopper, cool. Wow. Okay, I still see a lot of like static stuff. All right, here we go. So much less grounds sticking to the walls of everything and much less grounds here. So I guess that worked. I should wipe this away for a cleaner test. Yeah. So much less than before. Yeah, so I'll just have to dip this in some water and run it through the beans real quick. Cool, it works. Thanks, Hoffman. All right, okay, so that concludes that little test. If you guys have the same issue or if you have the same grinder, don't know if you do, but that'd be cool to see if you were having that problem. That was something that I read about in Reddit and a lot of the reviews. And I was like, is it really a big deal? And like I said in the other vlogs, not really a big deal to me, but I wanted to try it. Will I do it all the time? I don't know. I can get kind of lazy. Okay. Coffee break. Pretty though, right? But just kind of big. I think if you kind of hold it like this, not like that, you won't feel like you're gonna drop it. You need to put the little pinky there. Okay, little tour. Take you on a little tour. Like I said, this is just gonna be more like, I guess, rough and tumble vlogger style. Old grinder, specifically for cupping. Not really great for espresso. I don't drink a lot of espresso anyway. My espresso grinder or my espresso machine has a grinder to it, and I feel like that's good enough for me. I don't drink a lot of white coffee either, so it's really there for testing my espresso blends, like our Black Mamba. If I feel in the mood for white coffee drinks, which is typically in the colder months, because if I want something super cozy and stuff like that, it's got to be colder. But when it's hot like this, not really in the mood for lattes and cappuccinos and espressos. Okay, so take you over here to the new, I guess, coffee station, run and gun style. So kettle goes there. Okay, there you go. Kettle goes there. I was able to reclaim all of this stuff in the house, except for these guys. Reclaimed all of this stuff. Got a lot of our, just extra storage up there. Products. New soap. Apologies for the green paper. I know that green paper was leaving a bit of green residue, you'll see here, but it's just dye, okay? So it's not like your soap went moldy, even though it looks like blue cheese. But don't worry, they're still good. I tested it myself. But yeah, we're no longer gonna use that green paper. It was just kind of like for fun, but you guys actually really love the soap, so I made a bunch more. We wrapped it in grease-free paper. We put some nice stickers on it, and here you can, it's kind of high for me. You can see what they look like. Okay, you got some finished coffees here. Little create, something to inspire me when I come in here into the coffee lab. I definitely want to create stuff. Until I come up with a better word, it's gonna be create. All right, so we have all these we call these? Atmos. Let me give some light here so I can focus. Canisters, travel mug, waste filter, a cupping bowl, the bigger one that I had before. They're really good for just holding all of your stag filters. I was looking forever, what's the best way of storing these guys? You know, it's so kind of awkward shaped. A cupping bowl or a bouillon bowl if you have one. We have the carafe, the new scale, the stag dripper and catch tray, and then the stag kettle. And then underneath we have the travel packed, what do you call this, kettle. I just travel with the kettle because I don't like drinking out of metal. And we'll get into this later, but this is actually still ceramic inside. So even though it has a metal lip for you to drink from, what's holding the coffee is actually ceramic, I believe, or some different material, not metal. So we'll have to test that a little bit because I really don't like that taste anymore. Then we have my travel kit, coffee kit here, hanging ready to go. A hat, always need a hat. A brush to clean off whatever. This is a dosing funnel, and I just thought it looked cool. And then a little riveted towel that's really nice to have nearby. And then they came with a pretty short cord for the kettle, so I had to, luckily I had a little extension for me here, and just right into there. And then gear. But yeah, so that's the newest. We've moved the cupping station and table here. I'm gonna get these on standing legs to kind of bring this up for me so I can do this properly when I do my cuppings, but that'll be a little later, but not bad. So now the coffee lab looks like this. And we've got some random gear here, and then we have our packages, your coffee orders in here ready to go out for shipping. And that's all been the same. Couple little hacks here for you guys. I thought this was cool and fun, but the on switch for this guy is always hanging, and sometimes I forget to turn it off. I mean, actually it's really good in terms of like if you do forget to turn this off, it will get pretty warm, but as long as it's on a nice, you know, safe surface, it shouldn't be a big problem. But I need to be able to see this on and off switch clearly, so I just 3M double side tape this guy, or velcroed it to here so I can see that appropriately. Just a little hack for you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are all the things. All right, so that was it. Pretty quick. That's the new tour. I worked on this a lot. I'm very excited now to be in here. It's inspiring once again to come into this space. Like I said, on the first run of like redesigning everything, you need to have a lot of functionality when you're doing all these repetitive tasks. And so as I keep, you know, evolving in my coffee journey as a roaster, as a coffee drinker, you know, just slowly kind of biding my time and making these little choices that make me feel good and make me feel inspired to keep being better. So hopefully this video does that for you. It turns the wheels for you so that you can make your coffee station more functional, your roasting situation more functional, and have clearer goals for yourself, all that good stuff. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you in the next one. We have a Labor Day sale going on right now, and I think it'll be live until it's 20% off, until automatic discount until tonight on Labor Day. All right, cool. Take care, guys. See you next time. Bye.